Hello y'all on YouTube, this is Rob with Rob's Nerdy Knives. Today we're doing a review impressions of the Vero Engineering Mini Axon. I've actually owned the regular size Axon, and I recently, well, sort of recently, probably had it for a while, that Mini Axon. And it's one of those knives that I really enjoy. It's a beautiful size. I just haven't carried a whole lot, but let's talk about this because it's still an amazing knife. All right, today we're looking at the Vero Engineering Mini Axon. This is a cool little knife. This is full DLC as far as DLC on the blade itself and DLC on the handles itself. So, or scales, I should say. It is a frame lock. The blade steel on this is M390. If we want to look at the little card here, so we can pull that out. Let me get the right card. Excuse me. So, yeah, here we are. This is the frame lock, mini DLC, and M390 Joseph Vero. So that is the particular little knife that we're dealing with here, M390. Now, the regular size Axon was a little bit too big for me. It was hard to reach and extend, but this is a really nice size. It's just one I don't carry a whole lot, and it's not because it's not a great knife. It's just because I've got so many other knives, and recently I've had to consider if I need to move some knives. And I think this is going to be one of them that kills me to say it needs to go. So some of you guys will collect knives and you will keep them in your collection forever. And that's perfectly fine. That's you. You do you, right? I have a channel and I try to do different content, but I also try to have a certain number of knives that I know I'll always carry and enjoy. And for me to enjoy a knife, I want to carry it. I want to experience it, right? I don't have Safe Queens. I have one Safe Queen. It's my dad's knife he bought before World War II, almost 100 years old. That's an exception. That's very meaningful, right? But as far as any knife I own, even the two knives my wife bought me for our anniversary, I carry them, I use them because they're meaningful, right? So, and other knives have been gifted to me that are very meaningful as well. Those are knives I enjoy carrying. So if I don't carry a knife, I have a rule. It's a catch and release, and this is going to be a catch and release, I'm pretty sure. So, but this still is a very cool knife, and I want to talk about it. All right, so first of all, the knife name is the Mini Axon. It's the smaller version of the Axon. The manufacturer, well, it's Vero Engineering is the designer, right? But Vero Engineering has an OEM, Beztech, that does the manufacturing for this knife. So it's manufactured by Beztech. The materials, titanium scales, titanium clip, hidden hardware for the screw, minimal hardware screws around here, T8s all the way around, captive pivot, frame lock, steel bar insert over travel stop, cut out here, no sharp edges, anywhere, which is really nice. It does have the fuller right here, that's really nice. So, and this is running on skiffs, by the way. I did put skiffs in here, so it's beautiful action for such a little knife and such a small blade. It has like drop shut action, right? So that's pretty cool. And it is a front flipper that works really well, and the fuller works really well as well. Now, I like the Mini better than I like the Axon because I can reach the blade. The Axon I had a little trouble. Some knives are full size, and I don't mind them, but they're hard for because I have large hands with big meaty fingers. So can really relate to a lot of you guys' hands, but they're shorter fingers. And so that I can relate to other people with smaller hands, right? So I'm in two worlds at one time. And so for me, when a knife has great ergonomics, it's easily reachable, it's great. But when it's hard for me to get to some of the things, it makes it a little more challenging. And that's what happened with the regular Axon. So I got the Mini and I really like it. It's fantastic. It's a great knife. And it's just that I bought a lot of Vero recently and I started carrying that. Like my favorite Vero to carry is my Vero Nova. A great knife also. It's a Mini Nova, excuse me, Mini Nova. I have a regular Nova too. That might be a catch and release too, by the way. But this is just a really cool knife in that regard because it's very it's very carryable. It's very useful, very nice. So how does it close? You release the frame lock. By the way, you have the cutaway here. There's a nice chamfering in there, easy access. It's not cutaway, more access. It's just wide enough. The frame lock is not overly difficult to get to. It's nice and big for a big thumb. I've got my big meaty fingers, easily can get in there to release that frame lock. Great lockup, no pivot lash, nice detent when it clicks. Let's listen to that one more time. Face the camera. Nice and clickety. I like that. Really smooth, crisp little detent. I think that's really cool. Once you clear the clutch right there. Once you clear the clutch, it just drops right down. Now, if you put your finger on the frame lock, it doesn't drop as easily, but if you keep your finger off, it's fine. And with the big meaty fingers, I mean, I can get up here and I'm kind of clear there, which I like. I like that. So I can get up here, do this. Oops, don't put your finger That's the problem with you big meaty fingers, right? You got to make sure you don't cover the blade up. So that works really nice as far as the opening and closing. The blade, I would call this, to me, this is like a sheep's foot, maybe a Warncliffe, reverse Tonto, I don't know, a modified, call it one you want. Kind of a clip point, kind of a reverse Tonto. It's curved a little bit, so maybe a sheep's foot, right? So, you know, whatever you want to call it, it's a useful blade shape. I like it. It's got enough of a pokey tip. You can get into your dog food, cat food, fertilizer, mulch, right? Cases of water, Amazon boxes, whatever. I like that. Nice sharp blade. I will tell you, I bought this and the edge wasn't perfect, so I did do re-profile the edge, nice polished edge, crazy sharp now. Love it, love it, love it. And sometimes, you know, you'll find knives, their first initial edge, because they got burned on a grinder, and then you re-profile it and you have a much better edge that lasts much longer. Found that very much to be the case here. I don't do a lot of work with it, but I do cut boxes. I do cut cases of water. I mean, very minimal, but it's nice, right? So that's a blade. I love the coating. I love everything about it. Now, DLC is not PVD. It's not black stone wash. It does actually protect the blade. So that's pretty cool. Just keep that in mind. DLC is kind of a special little thing. Let's do our weights and measurements. Where's my scale? Hold on. All right, it's going to be a light knife. I'm going to guess maybe 2.9, 2.5 ounces, somewhere around there. 2.7 ounces. Look at that. 2.7 ounces. So it's not a super heavy knife, but it's not a super light knife. So there you go. A cool little knife. Let's look at the measurements. You're going to find that the length of this knife is not super long, but it's not super short. From the very tip to the back, let's get there. From the very tip to the back, you're looking at, you know, it's right 6.5 right there, but it's just 1/8 of an inch. So I'm going to say 9/16. It's 6 9/16 of an inch long. The overall grip area, the handle area, and if you use the whole choke up position right here, you have 3 3/4 of an inch, right? If you just go back here, then you got 3, maybe 1/4 inch, but 3 3/4, because you can definitely choke up, and that's what I do. The overall blade length on this guy is 2 and so, oops, it's so light. Look at that. It's just pulling the blade. Come on now, stay there. We're looking at, I want to say 2 3/4, but it's like another, so 6 8 7 8. So maybe it's yeah, probably be right between 2 3/4 and 2 7/8. Maybe so we have 8/16, 8 9 10 11 12. So 12/16? No, 13/16. 13/16. That's probably better. Anyways, if you want to be real technical, I'm trying to give you the measurement. It's probably way more than you care to know. It's less than 3 inches. It's not bad at all. Let's do the blade stock thickness on this guy. I find it's going to be not bad at all. So blade stock thickness on this guy is 119 thousandths of an inch. Let's do that one more time. 119.8. So 119 thousandths of an inch. Not super thin, but not super thick. Definitely in a very reasonable kind of category. All right, so what is the category for this knife? Is it a budget? No. Is it a regular knife, like $300? Well, depending on when you get it, if you get it on sale, you might get it under $300, but it's right around $300. When I bought this, I think it was like $295, somewhere around there. I think these are probably a little more now, especially the DLC. I think it's like $335 or something. So this technically, I think it can go with the non-DLC to the DLC. I haven't looked at the prices lately, but mine was at the very, very top end of regular to, I think more reasonably, it's going to be very bottom end of a high-end knife. So over the $300 mark. That's what I think. You're right around 300, just a little past, okay? Which I think is a pretty nice price. Some people feel like, oh, you're just paying for Vero and all. Vero has a beautiful engineering aesthetic that works. I've noticed every Vero I've had has a very consistent feel, fit, form, function. It works really great. It's consistent. It's solid. It's a design that works. It's a design that's absolutely, I feel like, developed by an engineer. So Vero Engineering, right? I feel like that really, you get that design element that he brings to it that I like. I enjoy. So is this a purpose, hard use, or collection piece? Well, absolutely EDC. This is absolutely a perfectly great EDC knife. If I had less knives, I would probably be EDCing this all the time. If I had less knives, I'd probably hard use this knife. Hard use as you would any frame lock, especially DLC, because DLC is going to be great. It's going to take a lot of wear and tear, really be really nice and functional. So As far as a DLC goes, I think it'll do quite well for hard use. Is it a collection piece? Some people love collecting Vero Engineering, and I can see that. At that price range, it's right in that area where you could collect it. For some, it could actually be a safe queen. I get that. For some, it's part of your collection, but something that you feel comfortable using, right? It's definitely in the higher end. It's a little not cheap user knife, but it's definitely on the higher end. So I would say for sure. For me, this would be a nice user knife. It's definitely a nice user knife for sure, but I would be very comfortable doing that. Again, if I didn't have so many knives lately. And it bugs me because some of these knives I really do enjoy. I really do, but I have so many other options and I'm checking them out and always trying to find something new for you guys, right? So, there are certain knives I'll stick in my rotation. This one is great, and it was in there until the Mini Nova. The Mini Nova kind of took its spot. So for me at least. For others, the Mini Nova is kind of a fat, chunky boy, and you might not like that. This is a leaner, slimmer, trimmer one. So, there's benefits and likes in either of them. Some people love all Vero and that they have them all. That's fair too, right? Go for it. All right, so that's where I feel. Overall design, what do I feel about the handles? The handles are great, comfortable, no sharp edges, chamfering all the way around, no really sharp corners that dig into you. It's slightly chamfered here, and you'd feel like, oh, this is aggressive, but it's not. It's not. It doesn't dig in. And the way it's angled, I can do a squeeze grip, and I'm fine. I'm fine. There's no sharp hot spots anywhere. I love that. I love that. Even the clip, nice and rounded, no hot spots underneath. That I appreciate, right? Opening and closing is wonderful. The fuller works really great, and the front flipper works really great, and the fuller also with the thumb works really great. Now, if you have smaller hands, it might be a little easier. Over here, works really great left-handed, and that's me using the clip. I can also put the thumb up on high on the top here, and it works great as well, right? And then the thumb flick works really well, and then of course I can do the knuckle flip. Oops, I'm trying to do it quickly. Let me be a little more careful. Can do that, right? When I'm trying to do it quickly, I get a little sloppy, and then you get yourself in spots where, see now here, I'm not being cautious here because I'm trying to impress you guys. Anyways, so works great. Everything functions really as I would expect it to. The textures, there's really not a lot of textures. There's jimping here, and it's functional jimping. You go past it, you push down aggressive, it locks you in. I love that. There's no lanyard, which I don't mind. The clip is great, goes in and out of the pocket really nice. It's very smooth. I appreciate that. Open and closing, like I said, it's a dream. As long as you get past the clutch, right? And you can drop it here where you can catch it on your finger. You're not going to do a guillotine on your finger with your nail. You're not going to cut yourself because there's enough right here to catch so that if I'm looking away, I can drop this like this, and I'm fine. I'm clear. And then I can just do a drop shut. So for me, opening closing is beautiful. It's fantastic. Fidget factor. Well, the fuller works really great. The front flipper works really great, but guess what? This is a nice flat grind. So watch this. Let me do it right. Oh, hold on. I've got bonus flick. I got bonus reverse flick. And even down here, bonus reverse flick left and right. And it works really, really well, consistently. As long as I remember what knife I'm holding in my hand, right? Then it works really wonderful. That was a very weak deployment and it's still open, right? So I like that. I like that. So I got to give this, I'm going to give this a 6. This is not just, ooh, I can get it once in a while bonus flick. This is usable alternative bonus flick as far as I'm concerned, right? I can even hold it down like this, like the fuller reached all the way down and do a flick. I don't have to do an intentional get down low and do the flick. I like that. I like that. I think that's cool. So I'm going to give this a 6 for as far as the fidget factor scale. Now, fidgety goodness, I'm trying to give it a reason. Why would I not give it 100? I'm trying to think, is there a reason I wouldn't give this 100? And I can't think of any. I think it's 100. It's 100 as far as the fidgety goodness. So you get a 6 out of 10, which is pretty darn good for technically just 2 deployment methods, right? I mean, you're into the 3, even multiple deployment methods here, Also, the action is beautiful and opening and closing is beautiful. There's nothing that hinders me from enjoying this knife, right? So I love that. I love that. Overall, is it recommended? 100%. 100% recommend. I think it's a great knife. I highly recommend it. Why would I even sell it and pass it along? It's a catch and release. I got the Mini Nova. I'm really enjoying that. I'm carrying that. It's brand new. And I can only carry so many, right? I can only have so many in my collection that I could really use reasonably at one time. And I've made a commitment to myself when I started this whole thing. I would keep things in my collection that I would use and carry. Every knife in my collection is something I carry. I don't care how expensive it is, I'm going to carry it. Unless it's a super crazy gift, that maybe is something for display. I've yet to experience anything like that. I'm not that big of a channel, right? So I don't know if that'll ever happen, but if anything like that, God forbid, ever happened, I mean, that might be my one exception, right? But that would be a super crazy, ridiculous kind of gift, and I wouldn't even know what to do if that happened. But that being said, what I'm saying here is that every knife is my collection is something I carry, and I just don't carry this anymore. I don't. I carried it for a little bit, and I didn't even carry it that much because I got more knives in. I have to rotate my schedule. I have to, you know, if I'm carrying other knives and this is not being used, it's a catch and release. And so I love this knife. I really, really do. If I didn't keep getting more knives because of the channel, if I didn't keep getting more knives just because I do get more knives, I would absolutely keep it. And if I, sorry guys, if I didn't keep getting more knives because I keep needing to review knives, and if I had unlimited funds and I could collect like 1,000 knives and not worry about it, sure, I'd keep it. I'd absolutely keep it. I'd have extra Nalpac cases and Pelican cases. Absolutely. Absolutely 100%. All that would occur. But I don't. And here we are, right? So, and I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. This is my journey, my experience as a collector. All right, let's take a look at this knife real quick before we actually, wrap it up. But here's the blade. If you want to look at that, beautiful flat grind. It does have a little swedge on top, so that does allow, swedges are kind of like rudders, I say, on boats. They allow you to turn the cut when you're into cutting something heavy like leather, plastic, or cardboard, right? Here's the DLC covered handles, beautiful hardware, all the way black, all the way around. I love that. You look at the full back spacer back here. You see the jimping here. You see the little Vero minimal build boarding on that knife. I like that, right? And then we go over here on the opposite side, the frame lock. We've got, again, that nice polished hardware everywhere, minimal V. Some people think that's too much. Yeah, it's, I can give or take. I don't care. Well done cutout on the lock bar. It's not sharp, and the clip itself locks down well away from that cutout part. Sometimes that can be a pocket shredder. I appreciate that. I really do. You've got the beautiful chamfering here on both sides, easy access to the lock bar. You can see right now we're good engaged at, I'm going to say 30%. It's steel bar insert over travel stop. As you can see, the over travel stop right in there. It disengages really nicely, right? And then we've got a beautifully, let's see, can we see that? Yeah, dead nut centered blade, right? Jimping up here, the flipping, the tab works beautifully to get to it. I like that. Backspacer, and then we've got inside some nice weight relief. I don't know if you can really see that. It's so dark, right? Let me see if I can. All right, so you can see some of the weight relief in there, I think. Yeah, a little bit back there. So that's nice. Nice. I think that's really cool. All right, let's do a zoom out, or what I call my money shot, the thumbnail shot. So here we are with the thumbnail shot, and that's the DLC reflected right there. I think that's a beautiful shot. Nice little knife, I think. It's a very functional knife. It's a very convenient knife. It's a very solid tool as far as I'm concerned. So there you go. That's the backside right there. Definitely can see that. All right. All right, so there you go. That is the Vero Engineering Mini Axon. Let me know what your thoughts are. If you have one of these, if you enjoy yours, what do you think of yours? Do you have the DLC? Do you have the non-DLC? Curious. All right, I think there's a carbon fiber version. I'm always curious what people think about that one. All right, hey, if you found this content fun, interesting, worthwhile, and informative, would you please consider hitting the like button down below? And if you've already hit that like button, would you please consider hitting the subscribe button down below? Subscribing and liking the videos really helps me out. Allows me to produce more content, do more things, ultimately do more things for you guys. So thank you. Thank you to everyone out there who watches the channel, who's part of the content, is part of the community. I appreciate you so very much. I really do. Thank you. If you haven't already, hit that notification button down below so you can be notified of future content like this and other videos. And a big shout out to my channel members. I appreciate you guys. You do two amazing things for me. You encourage me because I'm a part-time guy. And you encourage me by your support. When I'm like, you're like a workout buddy. Keep me going. Days when I don't feel like it, you just keep me going. Not because I don't want to. I just, it's hard. It's hard doing a full-time job and doing this. And so you guys you're like friends to me. I appreciate that. And the other thing you do is because of your generosity and your support, you allow me to do things I never thought I could do in this channel way sooner. One, I'm able to do weekly giveaways. A lot has to do with the channel members, and I appreciate that. Allowing me to check out knives that I couldn't afford the shipping back and forth because some of those knives, they're expensive. It adds up. I spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars a month in shipping, and it really blows me away how that all adds up. So thank you to you channel members. I really, really appreciate you guys so very much. The other thing is I
I do two things for you guys, two ways to say thank you. First, I do a once-a-month members exclusive giveaway. Usually try to make it better than the weekly budget banger giveaway that I do. Something nice, something that you might enjoy winning or giving away as a present, right? So I want to make sure it's something enjoyable. It's definitely above a budget banger, well over $100. Something that I think hopefully you would find cool or interesting or nice to win. The other thing I do is usually it's brand new channel members, but I'd love to give you a channel sticker and a thank you note. So if you're a brand new channel member, just became a brand new channel member, the trick is you got to be currently a member right now. As long as you're currently a member right now, you never received a channel sticker, you were never asked for a channel sticker, and you're currently a member right now, email me with your name and address. I'd love to mail you a channel sticker and a little thank you note. It's my way to say thank you. That really applies to anybody who's been a member all along, were a member, became a member again, never got a sticker, never asked for one. Same thing, as long as you're currently a member, email me, name and address. Love to mail you a channel sticker and I'll thank you note. All right, if you haven't already, check me out on Instagram over at robs_nerdy_knives. Again, that's on Instagram at robs_nerdy_knives. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great day and a great week. Bye.